I've been playing around with my new Acmer P3 2-in-1 laser today, and I ran some tests and projects to see how well it performed. In this video I will not only share how I made these projects, I'll also teach you how to design basic stuff using Lightburn. I experimented on these wooden keychains. I did some leather. I did my own cut keychains, and I had a little wrong experience, which I'll also be sharing. And I tested out the fiber on the laser. The 2-in-1 is a combined diode and fiber laser, which is really awesome because it gives you 40 by 40 centimeter surface to use your fiber laser with. If you are interested in the Acmer P3 lasers, I dropped my affiliate link and a discount code down in the description. Also, I added links on the blanks that I am using for this video. But if it sounds like fun, let's get to it. The first test I wanted to do was on this wooden keychain. All my blanks are from Amazon and I dropped the links in the description. Make sure that you adjust your focal height, which is really easy with the focus tool on the side of the laser. For engraving, I wanted to come up with kind of a logo. So I just want to test these, so I decided to just go ahead and type in MiMo Design, which is my name. I am using one of my favorite fonts, which is Aluminium Boutique script, and for design I'm using the same but as the Sans version. To make sure that my text here doesn't have any visible gaps while being engraved, I will weld these together. This is really easy to do. You just use the Boolean option or weld option on the right of your panel. I'll align my little logo with the great camera option, and then I can go to cuts and layers and set the settings. I'll just use some of the parameters that Acmer already provided me with. So let's engrave and see if the camera does its job. The engraving time for this one was 2 minutes and 10 seconds, so I did speed up the video just a little bit. But here is the finished result. I haven't treated this in any way, wiped it over or anything like that. So I actually think that it's absolutely beautiful, and the air assist seems to be working really well. For my next test, I wanted to see how well it cut. So I used one of the samples on 2.5 millimeter, and I will go in and create my own little keychain to cut from this. So I updated my overlay, and here is my material. I will place my logo or my name, and let's show you how you can easily turn any name or logo into a keychain. I want mine to be a width around 5 centimeters, so I'm adding 50 millimeters. If you go to the offset button and make an outward offset, you have to use it as round. You can determine how big you want the outer edge to be cut. Once you have set your offset, you of course want a keychain hole. So grab a round and make it the size that you want your hole to be. I usually make 2.5 millimeters holes in my keychains. Once you have your hole, you go to the offset again and create an outer offset. I always make mine 2 millimeters. weld the outer round to the shape and weld them together. Once welded, you will of course change the layer color to whatever you use for cutting. I always use black for cutting and red for engraving. So now I can place it on my material and I will go in and adjust my settings. And here's where I made a huge mistake because I actually forgot to turn on my air assist. Also, the settings that I use, I grabbed from the test card and they actually didn't cut through in the first place. So instead, I changed the settings to the ones that I have on my parameter sheet. You can, of course, do a lot more testing of your settings to make it go even faster and also cut through in one single pass. But after turning on the air assist, it did cut a lot cleaner and nicer. So a word of advice is to always remember, one, to make or adjust your focal height, and two, make sure that you turn on your air assist whenever you are cutting. Sometimes I do turn it off when I'm engraving, but when you're cutting, you always want to have your air turned on. Next, I wanted to test out leather. So I have these leather bottle openers, keychains, and I simply grabbed my logo and placed it on top of it. My logo is a little wide, so I did stretch it and resize it just a little to fit somewhere inside the leather area. The settings I used here is also the ones that I found in the parameter settings. I will say that I probably should have gone with a thicker font or to dial in some stronger or more powerful settings. You can achieve a darker result by either lowering your speed or increasing your power. But this is the first try and I actually think it turned out really well. But the next time I am engraving one of these, I'll definitely play a little around with my settings. Next, I wanted to test the fiber in this machine. So the 2-in-1 module is a dual module with 10 watt diode and 2 watt fiber. It's really easy to switch over. You have a button on the right side of the module that you just flip over between fiber and diode. I wanted to test an aluminum card for engraving. When you are engraving these, and this is the card that was delivered in the sample box, you will make sure to pin it down. The magnetic pins are actually really great to get a hold of the card, but you could also have used painter's tape or something like that. If your air is a little too powerful, you can risk that the card is too light and it will blow around inside your laser. But this is the finished result, and again, I didn't do any cleaning at all on this card. So this is really how it looks. It's just gorgeous. Last but definitely not least, I wanted to see how it would engrave on stainless steel. So I'm using this steel keychain and I am placing my logo on the bigger side and engraving with the settings which I found in the parameter guide. After the first engraving, I really wanted to see if I could achieve some different colors when engraving. So I added in some circles on the longer piece of my keychain just to do a little random test. I colored each circle in a different layer and I set some different settings. It didn't at all turn out as I had hoped for, but I could see that there are a difference in just the minor changes that I did in my settings. So this is definitely something that I'll be experimenting with at a later point. But anyhow, it did engrave this keychain really nice, and I am really happy with how this turned out. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like and please subscribe to my channel. I will have more videos coming up on specific projects using the Acmer P3. Right now we are in the middle of moving back home to Denmark, so it might take a month or two before any new videos will be released. But as said, if you are interested in the Acmer P3, I have a discount code as well as my affiliate link dropped below in the description. And if you have any questions or suggestions to new videos or projects that you would like me to show, please drop a comment. I really love making videos for you and I hope to see you soon.